Hello and welcome to ToughPigs at 20, a Muppet fan podcast from ToughPigs.com. This is the series where we're looking back on the past 2 decades of the website for Muppet fans who grew up, featuring interviews with the writers and artists who helped make it happen. Our guest today is the only guest on this series who wasn't an official ToughPigs contributor. In 2009, he started our rival Muppet fan site, The Muppet Mindset, where he wrote a few hundred articles until ditching it in 2015 for a cushy job at the Walt Disney Company. Now that ToughPigs has merged with The Muppet Mindset, I guess we can consider him one of us. We are extremely proud to welcome Ryan Dosier to the podcast. Hello, Ryan.
Hi, Joe. Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me in an unofficial capacity.
Yes, thank you for unofficially being here. We very much appreciate it. This is very weird because, as we were just talking right before we were recording, we want to dive into your ToughPigs history, but you don't really have a ToughPigs history.
No, I wasn't allowed.
No, we did not allow you to work on our website. But we have like all of your archives on our website, so it felt appropriate to have you here.
I didn't see a cent from that, by the way.
Yeah, me neither.
As long as we're even.
Exactly, yes. The first question we've been asking everybody on the show is, how did you join ToughPigs? You have not joined ToughPigs, so I guess I have to ask you, how did you start the Muppet Mindset?
Well, in 2009, I guess it was, I thought that there was a void on the internet for a Muppet fan site that wasn't ToughPigs. ToughPigs was great, and you guys were doing, it still is great, and you guys were doing so much, but I thought there's certainly room for more, so why not try and do something? So I started it with the idea of anyone can contribute any article at any time if they want to. And that's what it was for the longest time. I don't know what Jared was up to after I left. I can't take any responsibility for that, and I won't. But
probably for the best, yeah.
You know better than I do. But that was the idea. I'm really proud of everything we did over there. So many great opportunities came from it, and so many great articles came out of it, and a lot of great connections, including you, Joe.
Me?
And yeah, you. And now I'm honored that it's part of ToughPigs because, like I said, you guys were the gold standard when it started, and it's just so great that we're all together now.
Just like the Muppets, together again.
Exactly.
Right. All right, so I have lots of thoughts and questions about the difference between the Muppet Mindset and ToughPigs and all that. But before we get into that, we do have to jump into our time machine and go back in time to August 26th, 2009.
Yep.
For everyone else, we've been kind of looking back to see what was your first ToughPigs article, but we can't do that for you. So we're looking back at your first Muppet Mindset article.
Oh boy.
Which is called Welcome to the Muppet Mindset, appropriately.
Apt, I thought it would help to tell people where they are.
Yes. Now I wanna quote a few things from this very short intro article that you wrote.
Great.
You began with, "Greetings, Muppet fans." That's appropriate. Welcome to the Muppet Mindset, the newest blog on the web for all things Muppets. So far, so good. From Kermit to Gonzo,
apparently.
Yes, from Kermit to Gonzo to Big Bird and Elmo to the Fraggles and Doozers, the Muppet site is your go-to place for product reviews, opinion articles, and maybe an interview or two. You know what? You're setting us up. You're telling us exactly what this site is going to be. I love it. Please
it wasn't too pie in the sky.
Nope. You're not making promises you can't keep.
Right. Exactly. Not yet.
Please enjoy yourself. Leave your comments if and when you wish. I'm looking forward to embarking on this exciting blogging journey. So, as everyone's favorite frog once said, moving right along, Fozzie. You know what? You're doing great so far.
Thank
you. Then...
Oh, no. Here we go.
You introduce yourself. Who is this guy who is welcoming us to this website we've never heard of before? You say, "My name is Ryan Dosier. I'm also known as the Prawn Cracker at the Muppet Central forums.
That's
For
true.
the site,
that was true.
I'll go by Prawny or Ryan. So I'd prefer if you call me one of those." Okay, now here's my question. Did anyone in that time call you Prawny?
Uh, you know, back then, yes, but only on the Muppet Central forums. So,
Oh,
I was trying to straddle the two worlds and make sure people understood who was running this
right.
whole charade.
Yeah, this is why you can't give yourself a nickname. It just never sticks, you know.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't think I gave myself that nickname. I don't remember where it came from, but I'm pretty sure I didn't give it to myself. That would be weird if I
Yeah,
did.
absolutely, yes. So yeah, so basically, I understand the idea that you are coming from Muppet Central. You're probably also, at this point, ToughPigs had been disconnected from Muppet Central for years, and I know
Yes.
we talked about, we've talked about this in other interviews on this podcast about how Muppet Central wasn't really the kind of place where we could have open, honest, commentaries and things like that. So I guess I'm assuming this is your attempt to kind of do both, like to do the things you want to do, but also use utilize that Muppet Central audience.
Yes, absolutely. And honestly, I didn't know we were getting into this, but here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
I wanted to write articles for the Muppet Central homepage because it was long dead. Like
Yes.
at that point, I think at least 2 or 3 years dead. And I was trying to, no one asked me to do it. I just bought some Sesame Street DVDs, I think, and wrote some reviews, and nothing ever happened with them. I waited 2 weeks, I think, and I never heard from anybody there. So I just decided to take them and do my own thing.
And I'm assuming that one of those was your second article that you wrote from Muppet Mindset, which was published the same day, August
Yeah.
26, 2009. Do you know what it was? Do you
It
remember?
was the Jim Henson Doodle Book review.
Yes, correct.
Wow.
Well
All
done.
right.
Good memory. Yeah. So that was the kind of content Muppet Central could have had. They missed out.
They did. They did, but it all
Yep,
worked
they're
out for
they're
me.
lost.
So,
Yeah, you did okay. So let's go back to talking about the difference between the two sites, because I think one of the issues that you and I had years and years later was that we were doing a lot of similar stuff.
yep, almost every day.
Yes, which might also be why one of the reasons why we had such a good relationship, and then again later on with me and Jared,
Yeah.
because we did have to kind of check with each other to say like what are you doing for this thing, or like did you
Yeah.
hear about that other thing, or can we not publish the same exact thing on the same day, please and thank you.
Yep.
So what in your eyes, your infinite wisdom, was the difference between Muppet Central? I'm sorry, Muppet Mindset and Tough Pigs.
That is a great question. I think for me, I viewed Muppet Mindset more of a general, not necessarily obsessed Muppet fan site. Like sometimes we could tap into that if we wanted to, but we would do things like weekly Muppet Wednesdays where we would just spotlight a different character. And that's not something I don't think Tough Pigs would ever do because you assume, at least back then, maybe less now, you assumed the audience coming in was all obsessed Muppet fans. Like
Yeah.
the biggest Muppet fans around, they knew to come to Tough Pigs. Uh, and I think that was something that you guys were and are the best at.
Well, thank you.
Hey, this is a Tough Pigs podcast. I have to hype it up.
Yeah, you gotta kiss ass just a little bit. Yeah, I get it. Well, so what's funny is, and there's no way you could have known this, but when Ryan Rowe and I took over Tough Pigs, and the original conceit was that it was going to be like a big group of us. There was going to be 6 or 7 of us, I think, that were going to be running the site, and everyone else dropped off, and it was just me and Ryan left over. One of the ideas
Of
that
course.
I threw out there was very similar to what you ended up doing, of weekly Muppet spotlights, or doing like top 5 lists, or music spotlight, or, all those repeating things that you did over
Right.
the years.
Yeah.
I remember specifically I wanted to do Wiki Wednesdays so that we could spotlight like interesting stuff on the wiki.
Yeah.
And the response to that was, "So what are you writing about? It's already up on the wiki. Like you're just linking to one thing." And I'm like, "Well, no, we'll talk about it too." And everyone was like, "I don't know." And like, all right, well, that idea went right in the garbage. Um, so when you started doing that stuff, I remember thinking like, oh, that stuff we could have been doing this whole time. And you're right, maybe it doesn't necessarily fit with, our current mentality or our current strategy, but yeah, that was very much along those same lines.
Well, I mean, Ryan Rowe did leak all that information to me after it got canned
Ah,
for
I
Tough
should have
Pigs.
known.
So,
I should have known. Um, so did you feel at the time that you had to compete with us?
um, maybe at the beginning, but just because it was difficult to make a name for yourself or for the site at the very beginning because it was just completely fresh. But after not very long, I realized that it wasn't a competition. We were all servicing the same goals and the same audiences in when you get down to it. So no, I don't think I ever really felt like it was a competition except at the beginning.
Sure, yeah. I mean, you had the unfortunate task of starting a website from scratch and hoping that people would find it, whereas Ryan and I took it over from Danny Horn. ToughPigs was already established for a few years. We didn't have to worry about that as much.
Right. So you're the
But you
lucky
had,
one here.
well, I digress because you had the word Muppet in your website name, so people could
That
find
is
you.
true. That is true.
Yeah,
I figured that
oops
was the
to us.
key.
Yeah, yeah, you were right about that one. Did having another website out there change that did similar stuff? Did that change the way that you wrote or the
Yes,
way that you approached
absolutely.
articles?
I
Hmm.
think I think there's no question that it did because I saw what you guys were doing and I was always impressed by it and I wanted to make what I was doing better or different or at least stand on its own. Um, yeah, and I think it also opened me up to accepting more articles from more contributors that wouldn't fit necessarily on Tough Pigs. Like you were saying, the top five songs lists or the most obscure Muppet list or whatever. I don't know if these are real articles that were on the Muppet Mindset.
No one's gonna
So
check. It's fine.
yeah, it's all buried in Tough Pigs now. No one's gonna even
It's true.
know where to look. Uh,
Man, yeah.
but yeah, no, I just thought having you guys there was both an inspiration and a goalpost to get to.
Mm, nice. That makes me feel old. Thank you. Uh, so okay, so you cut to what was it, 2015?
Yes.
You made the decision to leave this thing that you created. Why?
Yeah. Well, I had a very good offer from the
Mm-hmm.
Walt Disney Company
Heard of
to
it?
come in and be the social engagement strategist for the Muppets handles on social media. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. At that time, there was a Tumblr. We do not operate that anymore. Um, but yeah, I, do you want me to just tell this story? Because it's a good story.
Yeah. Of course I want you to, you're on a podcast. Tell the
You're right.
story,
You're
Ryan.
right. I haven't been on a podcast in a long time, Joe. Uh, so in 2014, late 2014, I moved to California and I really had no real prospects, but my dear friend Bill Beretta asked me if I would like to drive his son to and from school every day. And I said, yeah, I'm not doing anything else. So I would love to do that. So I did that for a while. And a couple months after that, Bill told me that there were rumblings that they were trying to open up a social media position specific to Muppets at Disney. And he said that he was very much putting my name in there. And I'm like, okay, that's great, but nothing's ever going to happen, obviously. So I just didn't think about it. And then one day in, gosh, when was it? I think it was early 2015. I was invited to set for filming of those Muppet Disney Junior promos where they're talking to kids. I don't
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
what they called that. Muppet Moments, maybe they called those. Um, So I was there, and the head of Muppet Studio at the time was there, and he said that he'd been talking to Bill and that he thinks I would be a great fit for this role, and that this role is actually happening, and that he'd like to set up an interview with me. So, long story short, I got the
Too late.
job. Yeah, you're right.
Great.
It's a podcast.
It's a podcast. Yeah. No, keep going, please, please, please.
I got the job, and uh, they never explicitly said you need to stop doing the Muppet mindset, but I was pretty certain with myself that I couldn't do it to the same level that I was doing it if I was working at Disney. And I didn't really want to keep going if I was that close to it. Um, so I passed it off to Jared, and here we are. I still work at
And,
Disney.
and yeah, and you're still. I'm assuming you're still on the social media team. You're still working with the Muppet brand.
That is correct. I still do all the Muppets handles. My new title currently is social media manager for Muppets. But I do it with Jim Lewis. He's the best. I write a calendar, and he reviews the calendar, and we make the characters sound as best as they can on social. And I'm very proud of
Nice.
what we do.
Yeah, you should be. And you just won an award recently, didn't you?
That is true. We just won the Webby Award for outstanding Twitter presence for all the
That's great.
Muppets. Thank
Did you
you.
get to keep that?
I don't think they've shipped it yet. I'm hoping I'll get to keep it, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Jim might take it. You
You
know how he
deserve
can be.
it. I don't know how he can be, but you deserve that award. You deserve to have something on your mantle. But like, how amazing is that you get to actually like put words into the Muppets' mouths? You know, I mean, I know
At
it's like
least
social
into their
media is different than
phones.
right. Yes. But yeah, but like that's super cool. Is there? Do you have any highlights of like tweets that you're specifically like proud of, or concepts that you've come up with that they've done on social?
Good question. You know, a lot of the ones that do like crazy well are super simple or super stupid. Like when
Yeah.
Twitter expanded to 280 characters, we just tweeted "Phenomena," all the lyrics. Uh, no one can see my air quotes. It's a podcast, I know, but
It's a podcast, Ryan.
we just tweeted the lyrics, and I'm pretty sure that's still the top Muppet tweet ever because
Amazing.
people thought it was so fun. Um, what else? For Muppets Now, we did a lot of fun stuff. We had Kermit take over the Muppets handle, which is weird because he
Hmm.
has his own handle. You know,
Right.
we do what we have
Yeah,
to. Um,
I get it.
and we had the rest of the Muppets photoshopping a picture of him on, onto other things, like a green screen type thing. Um,
Right.
and we had a lot of weird things. My favorite one was Scooter photoshopped Kermit's face onto a billboard that said, "You're doing a great job, Scooter."
Great. Can you do one of those for me?
Yeah,
Joe, you're
sure.
doing okay. Love Kermit. Thank you. You told me once about some other Muppet Twitter handles that you wanted to create and weren't able to. Are you able to comment on that?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Great.
For a
Who?
long time, there have been talks for a long time, but I think it would be just the easiest thing in the world to just have a Beaker Twitter account that is just a bunch of nonsense
I love
every
that.
single
What a
day.
good idea. Yes.
Uh, I haven't pitched that recently. I bet we could get it going now if I pitched it again. So maybe this is a teaser. Uh, but
Ooh.
we you could do the same with Animal and Swedish Chef, and
Yeah.
a lot of people ask for Rolf to have his own Twitter account, but my response is Rolf is far too chill to be on Twitter.
That's true. Also, I would assume Rolf would be among the more difficult characters to write for Twitter because he can be philosophical or he can be like he's not as irreverent as the other characters.
Yeah, yeah. Rolf would be tough. Kermit is already tough because he's great. And when you finally hit, like if you're thinking of something to write for him, and when you finally hit it and it's good, it's the best feeling in the world. But he's hard to find the exact point for, because he's so specific but also so general, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
for sure. And I'm sure you don't want to keep defaulting to green jokes or frog jokes because I feel like
Exactly.
that's such an easy get. Um,
Exactly. That would be the easier route. And I think before me and Jim really started going heavy on these accounts, that's what the folks who were running it before were leaning on. And that was fine because it was right when the account started, and that's what people expect from Kermit. But it's been 6 years since I've been doing it, and there's a lot of things beyond green and frog jokes.
I should hope so. Yes. So going back to talking about the mindset, are there articles that stand out to you as some of your favorites? So
Yes.
or some that you're especially proud of?
I was super proud of my review of the 2011 Muppet movie. Um, I wrote it after seeing I went to the cast preview at the studio, um, and no one told me I couldn't write a review, so I just went ahead and did it. And no
Great,
one ever said that I should take it down, so I just left it up. Um,
great.
but I had the incredible opportunity later that week to go to the premiere for the movie, and I went to the after party for the movie, and I met Jason Segel, and I introduced myself as Ryan Dozier, and he said, "Wait, you wrote that review on the Muppet Mindset,"
Wow.
and that was the best thing that ever happened. That was like 10 years ago, and I'm still writing that.
Oh yeah, I would too. That's great. Because I met Jason Segel at a book signing, and I had like all of 10 seconds as he's signing my book to be
Right.
like, "Hi, I'm Joe Hennes, and I run ToughPigs.com." And he goes, "Oh, what's that?" And
Oh
someone snapped a
no.
photo at that exact second where he's got this like quizzical, like, "Huh?" look on his face, and you could see my heart break just a little bit. I'm like, "I thought you were a big fan.
Oh
You don't even know."
no. Oh
Yeah,
no.
it's
That's a
okay.
disaster.
It's fine. I survived, kind
Yeah,
of.
you're still here. You're talking to me. So,
Oh, so I'm so lucky. Uh,
right.
how about are there any moments that you are especially not proud of, or any
Ooh.
articles you've written that you would like to just kind of wash away from the face of the earth?
Oh, what a good question. There
I'm
definitely are.
full of them. Yes,
Um,
good.
oh my gosh. When we were merging Tough Pigs and the Mindset, I went through and looked at all of my articles. Well, every article from when I was running the Mindset.
Yes,
And
right.
there were just so many. And I finally got to like the first year and a half. We were doing news updates of like product announcements or whatever at the top of a separate article. So, like, it would be an article about, I don't know, a comic book review. And at the top, the first chunk of it was like, this magic band is coming out with Kermit on it or something.
Right.
And
Yes.
I'm like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you just not do that? Do either
I
a separate
remember.
article.
Yeah, I remember. I don't know if this is the reason, but like that was something that you and I had talked about way back then because the format of your site was the same format as our original site for ToughPigs before our redesign, which was it's just articles in a row. There was
Right,
no like
right.
you see that all the icons, you choose which one you want to read. So if you did spend time on a longer article and then there's a news story, well that news story is going to bump it down and people aren't going to read the thing that you spent time on.
Right.
So that seems like it was probably a strategy of yours to kind of let people see both.
I'm glad you think that because it makes me feel better. But I don't know if it
Good.
was a
Yes. I'm not saying it was a
strategy or
good
just
strategy.
nowadays we would just tweet the news and not write an article or
Right.
tweet
Yeah,
the
that's probably
product.
right. Yes. So you were talking about going to the premiere of the 2011 Muppet movie. I want to revisit of one of my fondest memories
Oh
of
yeah.
running our two websites. You and I got to work the red carpet together at Muppets Most Wanted at the
That
premiere in
was
LA.
that was just the best. I think about that all the time because it was
Yeah,
such a it was like riding on a cloud the whole time.
yeah. That was easily it's easily one of my favorite things I've ever done
Hmm.
as a representative of this community. Um, getting to like talk to celebrities was great. Getting to just be on the red carpet. I remember not a lot of people know this, but you know when we got started, first of all, they put us together, and the card just said Muppet Mindset,
Yes, it did.
and so I think I had like one of those tiny little spiraling notebooks in my pocket. So like I like wrote toughpigs.com in like bold letters, and we found like a piece of tape that was like stuck to something else to stick them together because we didn't bring tape.
Nope,
We weren't prepared.
nope. I'm pretty sure
And
we pulled it off half of the Muppet Mindset sign and just used the one piece on the other half to tape the top part down, and then we taped the Tough Pigs part at the bottom.
that seems legit. And then right before like all the celebrities came out, you and I kind of like ducked under the what do you call it, the velvet
The rope,
curtain,
yeah.
and the rope, yeah. And we got to like walk on the red carpet and take photos, and like there was like a fake phone booth for some reason, and we were taking pictures there.
Yeah,
It was just
yeah.
cool to like we felt like we were walking the red carpet, even though we were technically sneaking onto the red carpet. So
It
that
was
was
the
super fun.
best. That was
Uh,
just
and
so great.
also, I always think about we were trying to get one of the stars. We couldn't get Tina Fey. We couldn't get Ty Burrell. We couldn't even get uh, like what's his name, the songwriter.
Oh,
Oh my
Brett
god, my brain.
McKenzie.
Thank you, Brett McKenzie. And we see Ricky Gervais, and we're like, Ricky, over here, and we're shouting because we know he's a huge Muppet fan,
Yeah,
and I think we knew that he followed us on social media, so
yeah.
we're shouting like toughpigs.com, and as he's obviously going someplace, like he's being led away, and as he walks by, he points at us and goes, I follow you on Twitter, and then keeps going, and we're like, but come back then. Thank you, but come back and be in our
Uh,
video. Yeah, we couldn't get him.
he saw our little paper sign and said, "I can't stop there."
I know. He's like, oh, those guys. No, thank you. Uh, but no, that was great. Oh, and then like the night before, we got to go to the screening with
Yes.
some of the cast and crew, which was a blast.
You know what I
Um,
remember
I
most from that screening is that
Tell me.
we sat down and we were just chatting, and there was a lull, and we could hear the music over the speakers,
Yes,
and it
yes.
was
I
the
was gonna say this too.
soundtrack for the
Yes.
movie, and you were like, "I can't hear this. have to
No, I
wait
wanted
for
to
the
experience. We're
movie."
just about to watch the movie. I didn't want to hear the soundtrack first.
uh,
Yeah, so we're like talking loudly. We're trying to cover our ears.
yep,
Um, I was also jazzed because I got to bring my mom to the screening, and
that's right.
Matt
I
Vogel
forgot
was
about
there,
that.
and Matt Vogel came to like say hello to us, and I introduced Matt Vogel to my mom, and I was like, "This is Matt. He's the star of the movie," and she thought that was the coolest thing in the world.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, what a time that
And then
was.
I'm gonna keep going with this memory because it was so much fun. So after that screening, we all wrote reviews, like short, like little blurbs on this form, and I didn't know that was the thing that they use in like the commercials when they quote
Right,
people.
right.
So they pulled a Tough Pigs quote, which was great, and that got to be in the TV commercial, which I was jazzed about. And I'm like, had I known, I would have put more thought into what I said. But I guess whatever I said was quotable enough for them. Um, and they gave us little gift bags that had like there was like a watch and I don't remember what else was in there. But there was also the soundtrack on
Right,
CD.
right.
Um,
Yes.
and you and me and I think it was Matt Wilkie,
Uh-huh.
Topics writer Matt Wilkie, and your friend Dan.
Yep.
I think it was just the four of us, and we ended up driving around LA the next day, playing the soundtrack on repeat
Uh,
until we had memorized all the
every
songs.
single
And
part of them.
I just remember driving down the highway, and we are like these four grown men screaming at the top of our lungs. How could something so right feel so wrong tonight?
Uh,
What a blast!
what a
What a
great time.
fun weekend,
I'm
man.
pretty sure we did that driving to Disneyland and back.
Oh, that's probably true.
I'm
Yes.
pretty sure that's what we did. And I
Yeah.
remember the interrogation song kept tripping us up.
Yeah, because it's a speak song. You can't sing along to that.
Right.
And I think that's the reason why I don't care for that song. Everyone loves that song. I don't care for it because I can't sing along to it.
Because the first time you sang along to it, you were in a car with us.
Yes, that was why. Yeah. Because I think about those guys. Ugh, God. What a terrible experience. No, it really was the best.
It was
That was
so
very much a
great.
highlight.
Uh,
Yeah.
what a good time.
Good time. And then it was all downhill from there.
Yeah, pretty consistently.
uh so I know that you work for Disney. You write Muppet stuff all the time. What's your Muppet intake like these days? Like, are you revisiting stuff on Disney Plus a lot? Are you like, how do you keep it fresh?
That is a wonderful question. I keep saying that about all your questions, but again, I have to hype
I'm
you up.
really good at
It's a
asking
Tough Pigs
questions, you know.
podcast. uh, I don't watch as often as I should, but I rewatched the entire Muppet Show when it finally came to Disney Plus, and that was just the most fun experience to just sit down and watch 1 to 5 all nearly all the way through. And
Yeah.
uh, I don't think I have ever done that, because the last couple times I watched 4 and 5, I just watched them by themselves because I had had 1 through 3 available to me for so long, and I would just watch them on repeat. So this was the first time I watched it all the way through. And the evolution of the characters is just so incredible. And the consistency of every episode is just bananas. There's not a bad one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it both inspired me with the tweets I was writing at the time, and it scared the crap out of me because how did they do that? How was everything that polished and that funny for that long?
Yeah. As someone who writes for the characters, it must have been really intimidating.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like, you have to say things in Jim Henson's voice, kind of, or Frank Oz's voice, kind of, or Jerry Jules' voice, kind of. Like,
exactly.
that's I don't necessarily. I mean, I do envy your job a lot, but I don't necessarily envy that part of it.
Yeah. The crazier part was when before we announced it, and we were writing the tweets that were going to announce it. I'm like, how do I do this? There's no, I mean, we've been waiting for this for ever, at least 10 years,
Yeah.
right? When
Yeah.
did
For
season
sure.
3 come out? 2008?
Something like that. Yeah.
And so it was just, I don't know. It was an incredible opportunity that I got to be the one to press tweet on that announcement.
Yeah. That's great. Do you miss it? Do you miss Muppet Mindset? Do you miss like writing commentary, things like that?
Yes, I do. I really miss it for like Sesame Street stuff or Jim
Hmm.
Henson Company stuff. I super missed it when Dark Crystal Age of Resistance was out, because I would have poured into those episodes if I could have written about them. Um, I guess I could have asked Jared, but he probably wouldn't have let me. Um,
No, he's really mean. Yeah.
I missed that,
Ruling your domain with an iron fist.
and now he's in yours, so I'm sorry. Um,
It's
I,
we're dealing. It's okay. We're surviving, kind of.
we
Yeah.
have a support group. I miss that aspect, writing about new stuff, and I also miss writing about old stuff. Like, I watched The Great Muppet Caper a couple weeks ago after Charles Grodin died, and I would have loved to write an article about how incredible he is in that movie. Um, but I certainly don't miss the constant thing in the back of your head that's saying, what are you going to do next? Because you don't have an
Yeah.
article for 2 days from now, and
Yep.
you should. That I don't miss.
Yeah. I literally, just before getting on this call with you, sent a note to to Ryan Rowe and Jared to be like, hey guys, I don't have anything for tomorrow. Can someone help make something for tomorrow? Because it's tomorrow already.
You could just do the top
Yeah,
10 Ryan Dozier articles.
if I can find 10.
Right, yeah,
Uh, well, Ryan, this has been a blast. I hope you've enjoyed kind of looking back at your time on the Muppet Mindset. Is there anything that you want to share before we start to sign off?
This has been so great. I'll just say that first. And I love talking to you, Joe, and we should talk more often if you want
Completely
to.
agree. I do. I wanted to have another sing along with you.
Yes, not on the podcast though. That will drop your
No, because there's
listenership.
just enough of a delay.
You can't harmonize like this.
No, we're professionals.
I was just going to add one more thing that we didn't talk about, which was when we were both at the Muppets Take the Bowl at the Hollywood Bowl. And then afterwards, we walked like a mile and a half to go to Mel's Diner, and they were basically closed, and we felt really bad.
That was not much of a story, but it's a true one.
It is.
So there you have it. And we got to eat at Mel's Diner.
Yeah, we went to famous Mel's.
So that's a thing
Diner.
that happened.
That was my favorite
famous
night.
Mel's, yes.
That was my favorite night of Muppets Take the Bowl. I was there all 3 nights, but because I got to sit with you and just hang out with you for a while that was happening, it was just the best.
They need to have more Muppet events so that you and I have a reason to find a way to get together.
Absolutely.
I mean, people probably have figured this out. You are on the West Coast. I am on the East Coast.
That is true.
Like that is a difficult thing to do when it's just like, hey, do you want to just like grab a drink real quick? It's like no, we need a reason to like go way out of our way.
Remember that time we were both in the same airport?
Oh yeah, that's a great story. So. I remember it was Hurricane Sandy, I think.
Yeah.
I was
in
something
New
like
York.
that. Where
I was in New York for the Jerry Nelson tribute.
Right, and I was in Seattle. I missed the Jerry Nelson memorial service because I was at a bar mitzvah in Seattle, and we both kind of had the same thought, independent of each other, which is I have to leave as soon as possible so that I can get home before the storm, before the hurricane. And like for me specifically, I was like, I have to get back. You had to get home so you weren't stuck in New York, but I had to get back because I would have been stuck in Seattle, and I would rather be at my own home in the middle of the storm. I guess that was my thought process. So I had taken.
Oh, you hate Seattle.
Well, I don't hate Seattle. It's a very nice town. I enjoy coffee and flannel, but I did want to get home as soon as I could so I wouldn't be trapped in Seattle for like an extra 3 or 4 days. And so I took a red eye, like connecting through Detroit or whatever, and I got back to New York early in the morning. And our plan originally was that we were going to get together, and you were like, I'm so sorry, I'm leaving early. I'm not going to have time. And we had never met in person before at that point. I should add. And we happened to be at the airport at the same time, and we were able to meet up in the food court. And there's a great photo that I took of you and me because I think you were wearing a white T-shirt and I was wearing like a sweater with a white T-shirt underneath. And I was like, oh, look, we match. And I took off my sweater and we looked like we planned it. We coordinated our T-shirts just because we were that kind of nerd that we have to look alike if we're going to meet in person.
Which is almost true.
It is almost true, yes. But that was great. That was the first time you and I had ever met in person, and what a story.
I'm sure people are enthralled by this story.
They'd better be. All right, Ryan, last question for you before we sign off. It might be hard for you because you are kind of on the inside, so feel free to plead the fifth. But what is your ideal? What do you think the Muppets should be doing next? Blue sky. Bring a lot of attention back to the franchise. Yeah. What should the Muppets be doing?
I mean, it's the answer everyone probably has, but I think the answer is the Muppet Show again, because it's the perfect format for these characters, and not just the characters that exist already, but characters that can be developed and honed over several episodes. It's so hard to create a new character in a short form space. So doing something like the Muppet Show where there's new acts all the time and big celebrities coming in all the time, I just think would be great. And I just think back to the Muppets Take the Bowl, and I think that's the most perfect distillation of the Muppets in a long, long time.
Yeah.
And I wish more people had gotten to see it.
Yeah, it's funny. Before Muppets Take the Bowl, I would have disagreed with you, and then seeing Muppets Take the Bowl, and then the videos I've seen from Muppets Take the O2, it's like no, the Muppet Show actually still works. It's not
Yep,
necessarily like the variety format isn't necessarily TV poison. So if anyone could do it, the Muppets, it's the Muppets. So yeah, that may not be a
right.
bad idea. Yeah,
Well, we'll see. I
we'll
have no
see.
power here.
I
So.
join the club. Well, Ryan Dozier, thank you so much for being here. Can you please tell our fine audience where, if anywhere, they can find you on the internet?
Yes, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. Both places, my handle is Ryan Dozier.
That's your name.
You can also follow the Muppets on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. There are 6 Facebook pages, 11 Twitter accounts, and 3 Instagrams. So take your pick.
Wow. And how many Tumblrs?
No more Tumblrs. We've rolled out the Tumblrs. They're gone.
Fair. Yes. Terrific.
No TikTok yet. I hope.
Yet? Is that a tease?
No. For my sake, no.
Well, thank you again, Ryan. Everyone else, if you are not already, please follow ToughPigs on those same social media channels. We're on the Twitter and the Facebook and the Instagram. If you like us enough that you think you might want to spend money on us, even though everything's already free, you can donate to our Patreon. We're at patreon.com/toughpigs. Anyway, beyond talking about all that social media stuff, you can keep on listening to this podcast, ToughPigs at 20, as we continue to celebrate our 20th anniversary next week with another brand new guest. So stick around for that.
Who is it?
I don't remember.
Okay, cool. I love
But it's
that.
going to be great. So thanks for listening, everybody. Thank you, Ryan, for being here. And keep on reading ToughPigs for more Muppet fun. Goodbye.